There's no cure for a cold. Still, billions are spent to fight both colds and the flu. But popping a pill when the sniffles hit, it's often too late. The plant you should be taking to prevent those annual viruses.
Bryce, we're going to talk about a consumer favorite, echinacea. A lot of people buy into this. You are a fan, but there is a caveat.
Well, there is, and I am a huge fan, and I'm a huge fan of science, and echinacea has a great amount of science to back it. And you know what? I've traveled the world, high and low, doing my due diligence and research on echinacea, and it comes down to this. It works, and it can stave off colds and flu. In fact, if anything, maybe even treat bad colds and flu.
What's tough for consumers, of course, is that there are many brands when you go into a store. So which ones, how do we determine which ones are effective?
There are so many. It's even daunting for me sometimes to walk into a health food store to try to choose the best in class. But when I've done these worldly travels, literally walking into the manufacturing centers of those companies that make the raw material for the brands that we find in health food stores, what I've noticed is that the best in class are using the aerial part of the plant, the flower and the root, to combine those two. And this is key, to put them into a liquid tincture form. You can take echinacea in a pill form, but it seems that the liquid tincture form works best.
Okay, so do your homework. Now let's talk about the properties. What is it about echinacea that seems to fight the cold and flu so well?
Well, this is where it gets even more interesting for a geek like me, because I'm all about the science. So when you get exposed to echinacea, your body almost looks at echinacea as if it's a foreign entity, kind of like it's a virus or bacteria. So it activates a part of the immune system, white blood cells, called natural killer cells. And these guys don't care if it's a virus, a bacteria, even cancer. They're like big Pac-Men, and they're going to munch up and eat whatever seems to be offending you. So if it's a flu virus, your body immediately activates, but sometimes too slowly. Echinacea can speed that process up naturally.
It seems that consumers reach for it when they start to feel the symptoms coming on, but you say there should be a regime than when we take it.
Yes, because the latest science also shows we can take it longer than we've thought in the past. We used to think maybe not longer than about 4, maybe 6 weeks at a time. Cold and flu season's longer than that. So here's my advice at the end of the day. Flu season actually starts as early as the beginning of November and lasts all the way throughout the end of February. So look for the liquid tinctures that are made with the aerial and the root form put together, and make sure you start in the late fall all the way through to the early spring.
For more information about your optimal health and getting tested, log on to myhealthreport.ca.